Hey, welcome to my next blog. Hoping you enjoyed my last one. I've just had somebody tweet in something, so I'm just going to read the tweet out to yourselves and take it from there. So we've got somebody called Cully who's just sent in a tweet saying, I'd like to know what happens to our loved ones when they pass on. So obviously he's talking about somebody who has died, who has gone over to the other side, and he wants to know what happens. So what really happens to us when we die? Is it the end? This is it? This is life, one life and off we go in a bang? Or one, as one would say, with fireworks? No, not really. We are soul, and soul is that we're a vast amount of energy. We are energetic beings living a human experience, which basically means that the body itself that we accompany or are in is just a vehicle. So this vehicle that we're living in is here to provide us with what we need to sustain Earth life. So planet Earth is just a planet that we live on, and our body is equipped to sustain the environment. So when we came onto Earth, which is another blog altogether about how we got here, we came into a physical body which allowed us to eat, smell, see, hear, do things for ourselves naturally, use our hands, our feet, walk, blah, 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 the whole shebang, which you all understand, and I don't want to bore you with the details. But we live our life, our body, the vehicle itself, it gets worn out with time and age, with everything that we do to it. We get worn out. But also on a different aspect, we are here karmically to balance the debt. We have a debt to balance, which is karma, which is the bank balance of good deeds and bad deeds and lifetimes. So lifetimes, what we've accumulated from good and bad, also relationships with other people. We will talk about karma in another blog, so pause that one as well. So we go through this lifetime and then we come to our deathbed, be it natural or unnatural. We get to that stage because if we've come into life, we are definitely going to go. Regardless, that is guaranteed. So if you have taken a human incarnation or any sort of incarnation, you are going to go back home to the creator, to God, to the source, or whatever you may choose to call him or her. So what happens? What Cully wants to know, what happens when we pass on, or what happens to our loved ones? Well, when we take our last breath, our body is still alive. So the soul always exits before the body dies. When I've actually been somewhere where I've seen somebody pass over or take their last breath, I've always seen the soul exit or leave the body or come out the body before the body has actually shut down. So the soul is fully aware to a certain extent, to a certain level. And I think there's times when I've witnessed where people have said it on video or in films, I think something's going to happen, or I'm going to die, or I feel, they have this sense of feeling, this clairsensor comes from somewhere that they are going to leave. So what happens is, as the soul is preparing, the body, the subconscious mind has knowledge of this, but the conscious mind doesn't, which we'll discuss the subconscious and conscious in a different blog. So what happens? When the soul actually exits the body, loved ones come, and guides and beings of light come to get it. They receive it. Now there's times the light, everybody talks about this light, this beautiful light. Now some people choose to run from it, as you've seen in many films, run from the light, or some people decide to run towards it, which I would definitely do with a sprint. But so there's two types of people. So you either run towards it or run away from it. The ones that run away from it obviously become earthbounds, become spirits, and we hear of hauntings and all sorts of stuff, and I saw a ghost and da. But the ones that run towards it have a different journey completely. So they go towards the light, they're received by loved ones, and they go to a place of rest. I usually call it halfway house, because it's halfway between heaven and halfway between earth. So they go to this halfway house, they're taken there, because you've got to understand, the soul is in shock. Nobody sits there and gives you, let's say, an exam in what happens once you leave your body. They don't say, oh, by the way, let me give you this book. Read this. You're going to die one day. Let me tell you what happens, because we've all been through it. How we know all of this information is through hypnosis. When certain people have done past life regressions or near-death experience write-ups, they've got this information, they've collated it, or through psychics or mediums who have helped spirits cross over, that they've actually got these insights, or people who astral travel, who have gone over and seen loved ones who have recently passed over in halfway houses. Well, I call it a halfway house. It's more like a spiritual hospital where one goes and they rest, a place of rest. So they go there, they're actually told that they've actually died and they've come back, and beings of light talk to them. Once the soul has gone to the middle place, the hall of rest, they're healed, they're spoken to, and the being of light, the caretaker, loved ones, whatever you want to call them, comes and then escorts them and takes them to the realms, the 7 realms of existence. They take them to the realms of existence. And how you know what realm you fit into is by the deeds you've done, the karmic balance that has taken place, and by your conscious mind also, where you fit in consciously. So that preordains where you'll be going. It's just like you're taking exams and what set you'll be in certain subjects. It's the same thing with the spiritual realms. So the lower realms are not the best places to be. Definitely wouldn't say yes, work towards those. Wouldn't even advise it. They are more hellish. They are like hell. While the higher realms are beautiful. Anything above 4, you're doing well. Anything below, you've got a lot of work to do. So I always say to people, keep your thoughts clean, do good deeds, never think bad of anyone, do not hate, harm, or do anything untowards to another human being, because that really goes against you. So anything you can do to keep yourself doing good deeds. And doesn't necessarily mean that you go out there, feed a lot of people, you go out there, doing everything everyone else. First, charity begins at home. You look after yourself. Make sure you're a good person before you go out there trying to do everything for everyone else. So once you're taken, or your loved one is taken to the equivalent realm that fits in with what they've done on earth, they're then fitted in. They actually are shown their life. So there's a hall of review where you're taken to, and then you're told of what aspects of your soul plan you have met, which ones you haven't, which responsibilities you've met, which ones you haven't, what karmic deeds you have balanced, which are still outstanding. If there's a lot of work still to do, then you'll be working on coming back onto the earth plane, reincarnating again. If you have met the criteria that you wrote in your soul plan, you have balanced a lot of things karmically, or let's say on a vibrational level, then you're working your way up to work towards through the realms till you get to the higher realm, and hopefully try to work towards getting to God. Now, the circle itself of life and death is that we start off as souls. So we're young souls, we're early souls. We work on to being mature souls, going on to be very mature souls. Our journey in this circle is to actually get back home to where we started from as a spark of light. So all we've done throughout lifetime and lifetime is build relationships, break relationships, control our emotional being, our mental being, try to make ourselves as good human beings so we can go back with that education to say that we don't have to come in this cycle anymore. So even though we come onto this earth alone, we will definitely go alone. And I always say this because I think, regardless, we have friends, family, people that we love. They're all a part of this soul plan. They're all a part of this journey. They're all playing their part, be it friends, foes, or anybody else that's associated with you through your work or through whatever you do in life. So loved ones that go over are still looked over. The soul still exists. All it is doing is a journey. If we call them, do they hear us? Yes, they do. When we talk about them, they do hear us. When we miss them, they do know that. They do visit on and off. They do come and visit us. But once they've gone over, they can visit. If they have decided not to go over, and they're still on this plane, they definitely haven't left you. They're standing right next to you. So there you go. It really depends if they went to the light or didn't go. And if they didn't go to the light, there's a big journey in itself. We will talk about spirits, hauntings, and everything else in another blog, because that in itself is a completely different subject, is a massive subject, and why people don't go over. So coming back to loved ones, if they have gone towards the light, they're working hard. They're working to make themselves better souls. So I hope this answers your question. And I hope you've got the answer that you required. All I will say to you is I hope you like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. So give me a like and subscribe. You can find me on Twitter at Jas Bassi Online. I'm on Facebook as Jas Bassi 8. And for any questions or anything, on Twitter, hashtag JB Video Blog, and I'll endeavour to write up on it or do another video. So thank you for listening. I hope you found the answer you were looking for. God bless.